Hello, my name is Debo Adejana, a real estate entrepreneur, MD CEO Realty Point Limited. They call us the Sack Your Landlord people. Now, this is Real Estate Business with Debo Adejana. You're welcome. In today's episode, we'll be talking about disaster management in real estate. It's a tribute to the Abule Ado victims of the Abule Ado blast. This is just paying a tribute to them. It saddens us that people lost their lives and properties. Lives cannot be regained. Properties also are very important to us, and we are quite saddened. And so this is in tribute to people who lost their lives and properties, their loved ones, one way or the other, suffered any kind of damage, to their bodies or whatever, loss of body parts in one way or the other, or been incapacitated in one way or the other. We are really, it's a sad moment for the nation, and this we are just doing to pay tribute to them. I believe that it will help a lot of us watching, to safeguard ourselves and ensure that we prevent this occurrence as much as possible, as much as is within our control. Because the real cause of the blast, we are really not sure. We've been hearing tales and stories about what could be the likely cause. I'm not sure any organization has been able to give us clearly what really caused this so we can prevent it. But I'm just saying that, hey, as a real estate entrepreneur, as a real estate investor, a landlord and all, what are the things you can watch out for to enable you prevent this kind of disasters? That's what I'll be discussing in this episode, and I'll be right back.
Real estate independence fast track course is not something you want to joke with at all. Loads and loads of learning and information and benefits await you at the next one. All you need to do is ensure that you register for your next fast track course. We're looking forward to seeing you. You want to be financially free? I hope you know that you will retire someday, and you probably are desirous of doing business with real estate or investing property for yourself, for your use. You need to learn about it before you make that investment. I tell people, you want to buy properties, you want to invest in property one way or the other, don't do it until you attend the next Real Estate Entrepreneurs Fast Track course. See you there.
Welcome back. Now, how do you manage disaster in real estate? One, I think that if you can prevent disaster from happening in the first place, you are way ahead. And so I will first be sharing the kind of things that you should be paying attention to that would help you prevent disaster in your property, in your environment, in your community, because real estate at the end of the day is made up of these things. Number one, in preventing disaster, let's bring it to the home front level, right in your homes. Watch out for how you use flammable materials. So I don't want to think so, but I also don't want to assume that a lot of people still use candles these days. Those days, we know that candle used to cause a lot of havoc in terms of cause fire and all of that in homes. So if you're still using candles, I would encourage you, maybe for whatever reason, spiritual reason or whatever reason, or scent, aroma and all of that, for whatever reason, I would encourage you, to ensure that you only keep a candle on while you are awake. What do I mean? While you are active and alive and conscious of what it is that you are doing. And always put it, on top of something that cannot really burn. Iron, things like that, not wood. and not near anything that can catch the flame. You must be conscious of that. Whether you are using it for whatever, just ensure that you keep to that rule. Okay? And if you can avoid the use of it entirely, I will encourage that you do so. Okay? Because candles have been known to cause a lot of havoc really in homes. Now, talk about gas cookers. Where do you keep your gas cookers, for example? I know that some people still keep their gas cookers in the kitchen. I would encourage you, take your gas cookers outside of the kitchen. Put it outside. Because whenever there is fire or anything, you don't want it to be that you struggle to get to your gas cooker or you can't get to it because it's enclosed in the kitchen, depending on where the fire is coming from. And once it can get to that, it can really be escalated. So you want to keep your gas cooker outside. I mean, as a kid, I can remember houses that got burnt, and different stories happened thereafter. Some were rebuilt fast enough, some it took a long time, some were never, the owners were never able to rebuild them, and then sold them, okay, in some cases. You want to be able to prevent this. Life should not ordinarily be allowed to go backwards, as I would normally say. So if you can prevent it, please do so. So gas cookers at home, where you keep them, flammables at home and all of that, ensure that you don't keep them in. I mean, you can imagine if a gas is leaking and is inside your kitchen. It means anywhere, God save you, you don't have a smoker in the house who just wants to light, probably has bad nose, which cannot perceive odor easily, okay, and then smokes. He just wants to light a cigarette, and because there has been, leakage of gas in the house, the thing can just be ignited. So I've seen cases growing up like that. So you want to avoid that and ensure how you treat and manage flammables. Okay, now if you are building at all, please go check. You buy a land to build whatever, go check the area yourself and conduct some environmental scanning. What do I mean? For example, I still see homes that are built under high tension wires. They're very dangerous. You don't want to do that, okay? You don't want to do that to avoid this kind of a thing. You don't want to. Please let us ensure that we keep to those rules. Pipeline areas under the high tension, there are stipulated buffer zones that should be, allowance that should be given wherever those installations are, where you have high tension wires, where you have pipelines. There are stipulated buffer zones that should be given, setbacks that should be given before properties can come, okay, on it. Don't build on the way or beside, very close, without observing the necessary buffer or setback to a canal. I've seen flood wash properties away. Wash literally. I've seen that. So you want to avoid building in the pathway of canals or just beside but not leaving enough room. What happens is that when there is a huge flood, this rain last year, 2019, in Abuja, I remember a particular location that the water, the flood, is like a waterway, a river kind of, okay, that passes that area, and the bridge on top of the river was moved because the flood got so much, water overflew the banks, and everywhere along the path of that river was washed away. I know of a site that was eaten into, as a result of that surge of water. I understand somebody even was swept away, probably with his car and all of that. A lot of people lost their lives. Properties got demolished. Ogunpa is a known phenomenon in your state, Ibadan area precisely. where I think the challenge there is that people are built on the path of a particular river called the Mumpa and stuff like that. And when it really rains, I know as a young kid the havoc that thing caused, it was all over the papers. A lot of people lost their lives. So you want to avoid. There are tolerance setbacks you should give. Okay, even when you have to situate a property around the canal, observe that. You know, professionals will tell you, looking at the history and all of that, they will give you the guide. Please observe that there are what you should do, embankment and all of those things. Ensure you do all of that because it would help protect lives. You don't want lives to be set back because a lot of people have lost their lives. That's very, very sad. Very, very sad. We really can't have them back. There are some that are alive but have lost their properties. Sometimes I tell you, if the proper things were not done, they wish sometimes in their soul that I could have just even gone instead of suffering, because some of the kind of life they would have to face now, some of them did not think of life going back that way again. You understand? So you want to prevent this. Now, have some things in your house: alarm, fire alarm, smoke detector. There are cheap ones, affordable ones that you can put in houses right now. In the day of technology, put in your homes, in your houses, such that when there is fire, when there is smoke, at least that will come off, will trigger, so people can respond to things quickly, you know, and probably prevent a raging fire from starting, you know, things like that. You want to put those things in place. Can ensure. So when designs are done and town planners are insisting on certain things within an estate, okay, and all of that, fire points, water hydrants, and all of that, they are doing that for the safety of the environment, so that this kind of a thing does not occur again. I've lived in places where fire started, and the saving grace was that it was put out in time. It was put out in time. So you want to observe these things very importantly. You want to observe these things very importantly. So that's that about preventing stuff. Also, one of the things we can do is maintenance, having a good maintenance culture, fixing things when they should be fixed on schedule, or when they get spoiled, the ones that would need to get spoiled and you have to respond to them. I mean, fixing things as they should be fixed so that a property is properly maintained. Let's up our game when it comes to our maintenance culture, because when something breaks down and is allowed to break down, okay, easily, it can cause a lot of havoc. I'll share a story. So, there's this place where I lived some time ago. There was this leakage that started a bit, just a tap, okay, that was running, that was going bad, and we kept managing it, saying, oh, we'll fix it. Never did. A day came, we just came from, I don't know where we were, we just came back home, and the whole place was flooded. It's a 3-floor building, and it was flooded. Unfortunately for us, this tap was at the topmost floor. Okay, one of the rooms at the topmost floor, and of course, by the time everybody was not at home, it had really gone bad, such that water was all over the house. A number of things got spoiled. So the postponement, the not wanting to spend money and all of that at that time, see what it cost a lot of damages. So respond to your maintenance issues in good time. There are maintenance that are done on schedule, so they don't have to break down before you replace them. You know that this is their shelf life, this is the replacement time and all of that. You replace them, you know. So let's do things in a better way in that way. And as developers, people who build, entrepreneurs and all, there's what is called environmental impact assessment, EIA. Environmental impact assessment. It's always done to even get our approvals. I want to hope that we are not doctoring things and all. Let's pay good attention to what the environmental impact is regarding our structures, and ensure that we keep to the rules so that we can safeguard our properties and our environment. For example, for the Abuja, though blaming anyone and all of that. There are approvals given, so like the governor said when he visited, there are approvals given that probably shouldn't have been given. So the people that even gave the approvals in the first place, at fault. People that are built also, maybe they claim they don't know any better, or they bribe their way through. Look at what it has caused now. So you don't want to get to this kind of a thing. So I encourage people, please, let us pay attention to these things. I mean, because the damages, we really don't know or cannot determine the extent of any damage when it will happen. Okay, so what we can do, what is within our control, is to prevent such from happening. That is to do our bit to ensure that we are not prone to those kind of things. Okay, so that's one. Then to wrap up, one of the things you can also do to ensure that, well, maybe you are reinstated at least should something go bad that is probably not of your own fault, because sometimes damages happen is not of your cause. House starts burning beside your house, for whatever reason. The firemen cannot get there in time, and so it cuts on to all the other houses on the street. Can't blame. I mean, what can you do in that kind of instance? The fire wasn't caused by you. Probably you taking care, observing all of these things we're saying. But one thing you can still do is ensuring that you insure. Yes, insurance would help you take care of that risk when it occurs, because there is likelihood. Okay, sometimes not due to your own fault. So it only makes good business sense to insure your properties against fire and this kind of hazards. Because what happens when you do that is, if it should happen, the insurance people will reinstate you, yes, to where you were before the challenge happened. But if you don't have an insurance, I've seen, like I said, properties that got burnt and the owners were not able to afford rebuilding, and that was how their life just went downwards. You don't want life to be lived, your life to go downwards. No, everybody wants a life to go upwards. So you want to take on insurance. The premium you pay is nothing compared to the kind of risk you are trying to prevent, especially when it occurs, and nobody knows whether it will occur or not. Just build it into your rent. Even if you are the one staying there, you will have been paying rent somewhere, and if you're renting it out, it's easy. That's all part of your cost. Build it into your stuff like that, and move on from there. Okay, so that's what I would encourage you to do. That's exactly what I would encourage you to do in ensuring that we prevent all these kind of things. Very, 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 very important. If you have any other ideas as to how you can prevent hazards from happening, okay, in the real estate world, please share with us. We would like your comments. We'd like to hear from you. And please, 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 like I said, let us ensure that we go out there trying to prevent issues from happening, because it's always important and it's always better for us to prevent evil from happening than now to be looking at how to correct things when things have gone wrong. I believe you've enjoyed this video. If you like it, please click the like button, share with other people, let them know that such a channel exists on YouTube where we share real estate investment tips that can help you in business and life. Till I come your way another time, I remain yours sincerely, Debo Adejana, in the business of helping you sack your landlord. Thank you. Thank you. I believe you've enjoyed the video that you just watched. You gained a lot, right? Now, let me share with you where they say it all starts. It's called the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Fast Track Course. It's a 2-all-day event. 2 days fully packed, teaching you about real estate, not just teaching you, showing you real estate stuff that you probably would not know. I'll be teaching you as a real estate entrepreneur or someone that is buying real estate for personal use or for investment, one way or the other. This is a course you don't want to miss. There is no tool of its kind in the market. It's the best that there is in the market, and you want to be there. Guess what? It is absolutely free. If it is about real estate and it is about investing, particularly in Nigeria, this is a course that you want to attend. For the value that you will gain, it is absolutely free. All you need to do right now is to click on the link and register for the next Real Estate Entrepreneurs Fast Track Course. As a real estate entrepreneur or as a owner occupier of a house, this is a course you don't want to miss. So see you at the next Real Estate Entrepreneurs
fast track course. Click the link below and get registered. Looking forward to seeing you there.